My new national strategy for space recognizes that space is a warfighting domain, just like the land, air, and sea. We may even have a space force.
That was President Trump speaking to members of the U.S. Marine Corps and other service members at an air base in San Diego this week. Mr. Trump went on to say he is considering a so-called Space Force that would be the equivalent of the Army, Air Force, and Navy. Here to discuss that idea and its implications is Time Magazine editor-at-large Jeffrey Kluger. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Space Force. How feasible is this, first of all?
There are certain hurdles to overcome. First of all, there are international treaties that limit the militarization of space. The 1967 treaty says that forbids nuclear or weapons of mass destruction in low Earth orbit. It also forbids all militarization on the surface of the moon or any other celestial bodies. So what does this leave us with? You could have some conventional weapons in low Earth orbit, but shooting down other countries' satellites is an act of war. You're certainly not going to have Star Wars-type dogfights in orbit. And ground surveillance, every country in the world does that. Google can do that, for goodness sake. So I'm not so sure what there is to this.
President Reagan proposed a strategic defense initiative in 1983.
That's right.
That never panned out. Last year, a proposal to create a new Space Corps military service was abandoned.
Right.
What happened exactly?
Well, Secretary of Defense Mattis was actually openly opposed to it. He did not want the idea of a Space Force tucked into the Air Force in the same way the Marines are tucked into the Navy. He said it's bureaucratically complicated. We really don't need it. It really can't work. Reagan's plan was defensive. It was all about using defensive weapons in low Earth orbit to deflect nuclear weapons. But the Soviets at that time said, yes, but once you do that, you destabilize the nuclear balance. So this abrogates the SALT Treaty, this abrogates the ABM Treaty, and we are back off to the arms races.
There's also the practical question of funding all of this, right?
I
mean, NASA's budget, I think, is currently 0.4% of the budget. Back in the 1960s, when we were sort of the golden age of space exploration, it was 4%.
4% of the federal budget. And that's the problem. Star Wars cost, the Reagan proposal, $30 billion over 10 years and never got anywhere. If you want to build the hardware, if you want the ambitious programs that got us from a standing start in 1961 to the surface of the moon in 1969, you have got to allocate the money. Back in 1965, in the midst of that program, NASA's budget was the equivalent in 2018 dollars of $60 billion a year, 3 times what it is now. You want to build the machines? Allocate the money.
Jeffrey, I want to talk about your latest article in Time, in which you say that although President Trump claims America is going to Mars, it's not going to happen, at least anytime soon. Why not?
That's right. Well, here's the thing. With Mars, we are always going to Mars. We just never get there. In 69, we were supposed to get there in 75. By the first Bush administration, it was 2019. Now President Obama said we could do it by 2035. Elon Musk says he could do it by 2024 because Elon. And the fact is, it is a very hard thing to do, and it takes an enormous amount of money.
But doesn't Elon Musk stand sort of a better chance than most?
Look, he can do these things on his own, and Elon is a force of nature. He may not be from Earth, but I think he is. He has the will to do these things. He has, if he wants, the wherewithal to do it. He does have to show more patience. Elon himself admits that he tends to overpromise. He tends to get a little giddy on his own ideas. But he's ambitious.
You got to reach. You got to reach for the stars, right?
Yeah, and, you know, if anyone might do it, we'll see. We'll see.
I'd love to see it.
Jeffrey Kluger, as always, a treat to have you. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's the award that shows you've moved the needle with fans. The recording industry is marking the 60th anniversary of the first gold record. We'll look back at the history of the honor, how many have been handed out, and just who's gotten them. You're watching CBS This Morning, Saturday.